there's one thing that the Antichrist is going to offer that God does not offer. Jesus, when you see him, when you come to him, you think of a just mighty God. Just can't even describe it. Words cannot describe it. In the book of Revelation, John tries to describe what he sees when he sees Christ. And if you want to know what Jesus looks like, read Revelation chapter 1. He's just so holy. That's the only word that describes God in the Bible, as far as an adjective. Holy, 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 holy 3 times. And he's so righteous, he's so just, he's merciful, he's loving, compassionate, kind. He's everything that is good. And obviously he's love. But with love comes justice. And there's obviously boundaries that God has put out for us. Just when we look in the Garden of Eden, he created a tree. He created 2 trees in the middle of the garden. There's the tree of knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life. We're obviously meant to choose life. But, he gave Adam and Eve a command not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So he obviously put boundaries there. With love comes boundaries, just like a child. Like, you're not going to want your child to go run off. Like, for me specifically, I have a daughter. She's 9 months, not years old, excuse me. She's 9 months, and, I'm not just going to set her on the floor and let her crawl everywhere because she can come across a piece of plastic and swallow it and choke to death. One of the crazy thoughts that comes to my mind every day. Not every day, but anyway, so I set boundaries. Like, I have this I call it a cage. It's more like sort of a crib play area, and it prevents her from going out and from sticking her finger in a socket, eating things that she shouldn't eat, stuff like that. I set boundaries for her because I love her and I don't want her to get hurt. So God does the same thing with us. He does not want us to sin, right? So when Jesus rescues the woman caught in adultery, he tells the Pharisees standing around her, whomever, people that want to stone her, he says, "He who is without sin, you can cast the first stone." So he challenges the hearts of the people that are trying to condemn her. Yet in private, after all the people leave because they realize everyone has sin in their heart, he tells the woman to go and sin no more. So he doesn't just accept her as she is and say, keep doing what you're doing. He challenges her and he gives her a commandment and sends her off saying, go and sin no more. So she has been redeemed, but he challenges her not to continue in her sin. So the one thing that the Antichrist could offer, he could be all the things, or try to be, at least emulate all the things that Jesus is: loving, kind, compassionate, merciful, gracious. He can, pretend to be God, pretend to be Christ. But what he can do that God won't do is he can just accept you as you are and leave it at that. You can be anyone you want to be. You can do whatever you want, and I'll still love you. You can remain in your sin. You can be who you are. You can have the full freedom to live the way you want to live. And I won't think anything any less of you for it. He doesn't give the charge that Jesus gave to the woman caught in adultery to go and sin no more. He says, be who you are. You don't have to change. I love you as you are. And people are going to fall at his feet for that. And I see that spirit circulating a lot more and more because people want to be who they want to be. They want to be their own God, essentially. And the Antichrist, he can provide that acceptance and love and mercy that people are looking for, that they crave and they desire. They have that hole in their heart. But he can provide a space where you can be who you want to be and not have to change. If that makes sense. So when you look at the Bible, when you read through the Bible, God has boundaries. God sets up rules. And he requires his followers to do those things. Read the New Testament, read the Old Testament, read the whole counsel of God. It's very important. But at the end of the day, God has boundaries and rules for us. And we must follow those rules regardless of how controversial they may seem. So the spirit of the Antichrist, he may take things out of the Bible to make it look like he's doing what is good. But at the end of the day, he's encouraging people to remain in their sin. So we have to be watchful of that.